You are 23. It is 2:41 a.m. The spare bedroom smells of yesterday's cold coffee and the ozone of a laptop running at full blast. The company does not exist yet. You are the only employee. No title, no team, no salary, just a fragile idea that dies if you stop for even 1 hour. You sit very still for a moment, staring at the single spreadsheet that holds every number you own. You do not attend meetings. You do not negotiate deals. You are the IT department, the bookkeeper, the sales team, and the janitor. You produce outputs, fixes, cold emails, and hope. You rationalize it quickly. Everyone starts here. The work builds the foundation. You are learning. You are also losing sleep, relationships, and the last normal months of your 20s. You wake before the alarm with a physiological jolt. The brain immediately processes every existential threat waiting in the dark. Your coffee from last night is cold. The laptop fan screams. You are wearing all the hats. You spend 4 straight hours on a technical support call because a software glitch has halted the 3 customers you actually have. You keep a good attitude the entire time, even though every minute of downtime is a direct threat to survival. You fix the bug yourself. You troubleshoot the hardware yourself. You manage the server yourself. You switch to sales. You pitch from the boot of your car or through endless cold emails. You face constant rejection. You tell yourself always be closing while the rejections stack up like unread notifications. You move to administrative work. You do the bookkeeping. You act as the one-person IT help desk. Context switching exhaustion sets in. Headaches arrive. Stomach issues follow. You are too busy to exercise. You are too busy to meditate. You are too busy to eat anything that isn't delivered. Sleep is not rest. It is a utility interrupted by a customer email from a different time zone or a sudden 3 a.m. realization about a product feature. You spend 2 hours crafting a single marketing hook for social media, agonizing over every word. It receives 0 engagement. The loneliness of the unrecognized hits hardest here. No one else can see the vision yet. Your identity and self-worth are now tied to the daily fluctuations of a fragile business. This is the silent killer, founder burnout. You feel it in your bones, but you do not name it. Somewhere around 3 a.m., staring at a line of code or a single cell in a spreadsheet, the quiet realization arrives. The vision is finally alive, but you are dying. You can no longer be the only person who cares about this. You hire your first 3 people. The basement becomes a small shared office that now smells of dry erase markers and the low hum of collaborative arguing. Your title is still founder, but something has changed. You are no longer alone in the fight. You arrive at the office to find the handful of people already waiting for direction. The vibe is intense focus, mixed with occasional chaos. You translate the vision into technical deliverables. You still sit elbow deep in the code because you alone know the product, DNA. You still sit elbow deep in the copy because no one else can write it exactly right. You shift from calling all the shots to brainstorming in theorem-based discussions. You hire people with an entrepreneurial mindset who can execute without hand-holding. You implement the first project management tools. Trello boards fill the walls. Asana tasks stack up in real time. You keep fixing problems personally. A server crashes. A client threatens to leave. Your instinct is still to jump in and pull the quick fix out of thin air. The team watches you do it. For the first time, you feel the friction of their eyes. They need you to build the system so the crash never happens again. But you are too busy fixing it to build the system. You move into magician mode mixed with the first attempts at manager mode. The afternoon crises keep coming. You worry about the people doing the work now. You worry about silent disagreement, the plague, where they nod in meetings, but act against the vision anyway. Moral authority becomes your greatest tool. You earn the right to lead by staying the most knowledgeable person in the room, while giving everyone else space to be smart. You are still working 80 hours a week. Growth has started to stall, even though the product is proven. In a team meeting one afternoon, you catch yourself answering every single question, even the small ones. You see the team waiting for your approval before they take the simplest actions. The quiet realization lands hard. You have built a team to help you row the ship, but you are still the only one with your hands on the rudder. You are the limit of our speed. The company now has 87 employees and 4.2 million in revenue. You move into a real corporate office with its own clean smell and signs on every wall. Your title is still CEO, but your calendar fills with meetings you should not be in. The hours stay exactly the same. You now sit in a private office. You are rarely inside. The building smells clean and corporate. The signs point you everywhere, yet every decision still lands on your desk. You wake up to a calendar packed with meetings that should not need the CEO. You already feel behind before the first call begins. The answer is no longer more effort. It is a different way to be in the role. You keep using the same gut feeling that worked when the company was small. The business has grown too complex for one person to see everything. You try to move from doing the work to leading it. You cannot let go. You still solve the problems. You still pick the color on the marketing banner. You still answer the customer complaints yourself. You fight the same 8 hurdles every single day. You try to shift from daily operations to big picture strategy, but you keep jumping back into the details. You try to build a team you can actually trust, yet you stay the expert who knows best. Finding customers in a bigger market means you cling to your own ideas instead of creating simple systems that anyone can follow. Customer service must stay strong at this size, so you set up rules, but you still reply to every ticket. You move past winging it and try to build real processes, but you cannot stop checking every detail. Money decisions get more complicated, and you focus on daily cash instead of where the big money should go long term. Culture needs clear rules now, but the old informal talk still runs things. Risks and rules appear, and you slowly realize you yourself have become the biggest thing holding growth back. The afternoon turns into one fire after another that everyone expects you to put out. You train the team to wait for your fix. The best people start to leave because they feel trapped. You wonder why nobody else can handle it. You do not see yet that your own style created this trap. Communication breaks down. You share too much data and create noise. Or you share too little and assume they all know what is in your head and create confusion. Growth quietly stalls. The whole team starts pulling in different directions. In the evening, the fear sits heavy. No one else will do it as well as you. You use your high standards as the reason to keep control. You carry the heavy weight of loyalty to the early people and the old ways, even when some roles have clearly outgrown the people in them. The realization hits hard after a top manager quits because he has no freedom or after a big project fails, while it waited for your simple yes. You are no longer the driver of this company. You are the traffic jam. For this company to live, you have to learn how to let it happen without you. You finally let go. You build the first senior leadership team. The machine begins to run without your hands on every lever. The days feel quieter now. You still show up, but the weight has shifted. You walk into a Class A office that feels more like a spa than a workplace. The walls are covered in green plants. The air carries a soft signature scent. Everything is hushed and calm. You start the morning in visionary mode. You no longer look at today's tasks. You scan the horizon 3 to 5 years out. You scout new opportunities. You make sure the whole company still lines up with its core identity. You do the walkabout. You move from department to department and stop at the visual boards for less than 5 minutes each time. You check the pulse without sitting in every meeting. You keep connected without becoming the chicken with its head cut off. You shift how you lead. You explain why things matter instead of telling people exactly what to do. Teams now make aligned choices without waiting for your input. You set clear boundaries instead of controlling every path. People gain real autonomy and things move faster. You accept mistakes as part of learning and innovation rises. You repeat the same core story over and over until everyone shares the same language. You spend the afternoon as coach and editor. You guide the senior leadership team through their own growth. You use simple frameworks like the 80-20 rule or the 5 Ps purpose principles, priority, people and plan. You improve their thinking instead of giving them the answers. Yet a strange thing happens. The product CEO paradox settles in. You still want to feel regular and connected, but every offhand comment you make now lands like an executive order. People pivot the whole direction because you said it casually in the hallway. You learn to switch to formal touch bases so the north stays clear. The hardest moment comes when you look at your early leadership team, the same way Steve Jobs once screamed at Howard Schultz. You realize the people who got you to 50 million might not be the ones to reach 500 million. It is a humbling lesson in the cost of waiting too long. One quarter, you open a report and see a major project launch that ran perfectly. You played zero role in the tactical execution. The machine runs without you. The quiet realization lands. You have built a world that no longer needs you to rotate the sun. Now you must learn how to live in the silence at the top. The company crosses 1 billion in valuation. You are no longer needed in the day-to-day. The boardroom doors close behind you. Your title is still CEO, but the role has changed forever. The silence at the top feels final. You step onto the private jet in the morning. Below you, thousands of employees work in factories and offices you have never visited. You do not know most of their names. You sit in the boardroom of heavy silence. The air conditioning hums low. The air feels thin. Every conversation carries weight. You now live with executive isolation. 50% of CEOs feel lonely. 61% say it hurts their performance. 75% watch their well-being suffer. 70% would leave for a role that put health first. You are 26% more likely to face real depression. The stress never really leaves. The boardroom becomes an information limiting space. People filter the truth before it reaches you. They soften risks. They dilute dissent. You get controlled noise instead of straight talk. Only 44% of board directors feel safe enough to speak honestly. Groupthink creeps in during crises. You engineer your own feedback loops to cut through the hierarchy. You fight for the unfiltered version of reality, but the echo chamber still grows. In the evening, the weight settles. You worked yourself to death just to buy back the life your ancestors had by default. One bad email could wipe out 2.9 billion in value. You missed birthdays. You missed family moments. You missed pieces of your own life. The quiet realization lands in the silence. You carry the Titan's burden. You built a monument that will outlive you. But you have become a ghost in your own life. You are no longer a person. You are a symbol. Your last duty is succession planning. You find the person who can carry the burden so you can finally disconnect from the organization you spent your life shaping. You have built a monument that will outlive you, but you have forgotten how it feels to walk on the ground. The company is finally a legacy, and you are finally a stranger to it. You sit on the board of the billion-dollar institution you built. The view from the top is clear. The machine runs perfectly without you. Somewhere below, in the same glass tower lobby, a 23-year-old founder logs into his laptop for the first time. He sits very still for a moment. He thinks this is about building a company. He is already wrong. It was never about the company. It was always about the architecture underneath. The machine does not stop. It just finds new people to run it. You exchanged noise for silence. You exchanged doing for being. You exchanged your old self for the steward the company needed. The vision is alive. The cost was you. Everyone starts in that basement. Everyone ends here if they make it. The ladder does not care. It only keeps climbing.